Can you see the difference in the African elephant compared to the Asian elephant? Aren't these pictures really cool? If you look at their forehead or their ears, you will see a difference. If you read this book, Elephants, it's a National Geographic book, you'll also be able to read about the differences between the African and Asian elephants. You'll also read about some of the similarities. A couple similarities between the African elephant and the Asian elephant is the fact that they travel in herds. It's the female elephants in the herds and the babies. The oldest female, the matriarch, is the leader of the herd. Now, as the young males get older, they go off independently. And they kind of live alone. But as a young boy leaves the herd, the older male elephants will find him and teach him how to survive. We also have some fun books about elephants, such as Have You Seen an Elephant? In this book, the elephant wants to play hide and seek. So the young child goes off and counts, and then he says, "Ready or not, here I come." As you turn the pages, see if you can help find where the elephant is hiding. Another fun book we have is How to Find an Elephant. How far into the jungle will you have to go to find an elephant? Before you leave, first, you need to get ready by packing some food, a pair of binoculars, a flute, and a blanket. While you are looking for an elephant, you may have to climb or swim or find shelter from the rain. You may even be able to swing from vines with chimpanzees. But in the end, will you find an elephant? There are other good books about elephants. We have some nonfiction and we have some fiction or storybooks. And these 5 particular books are in the Elephant Topic Tote. And when you check out the Topic Tote, you get all the books and the tote to bring home, and you read through them, have fun. I love elephants. Once you read through the Elephant Topic Tote, you can choose from all our other totes that we have. Come on, I'll show you. Here are our topic totes. Each tote has between 5 and 10 books in them. We have so many topics, like bugs and cooking and Disney Frozen and friendship and monsters and pirates, trucks and turtles and unicorns and so much more.
Hi everyone, it's Miss Sarah from the Lucy Robbinsville's Library. I'm going to tell you guys about one of my favorite reads, which is Endlessly Ever After by Laurel, Snyder, and Dan Santat. So grab your basket and your coat, put on some walking shoes, turn the page and begin. Which story will you choose? Well, Endlessly Ever After starts like any classic Little Red Riding Hood story, with Little Red, or in this case, Rosie, going to bring some cake to her sick grandmother. But the story takes a twist right on page 2 when it's up to you, the reader, to decide if Rosie should take her classic red coat or should she wear the faux fur coat instead. Well, in this story, all of your choices matter, so as you decide the path that Rosie will take to her grandmother's house. Will you meet some new faces along the way? Will you ever make it to Grandma's? Or will you meet a more dark ending at the hands of the big bad wolf? Well, with countless fairy tale endings to find, this story can keep you entertained for hours. Can you find all the ways to tell Rosie's story?
Hi, it's Rebecca, and I'm here to tell you about one of my new favorite picture books called Every Dog in the Neighborhood. This is by Phillip C. Stead, and it's illustrated by Matthew Cordell. So when Louis tells his grandma he would like a dog, she tells him there are already too many dogs in the neighborhood, which gets Louis wondering, how many dogs are in the neighborhood? And in order to get answers, he writes a letter to City Hall. Grandma is also writing a letter to City Hall, but for a different reason. When Louis and Grandma don't get the answers they are looking for, both take it upon themselves to figure things out. Louis sets out to count all the dogs in the neighborhood, and Grandma, well, I'll let you figure out what Grandma wants from City Hall. I love the illustrations in this book. They tell so much of the story, and I really like the relationship between Louis and his grandma. And I also love learning about all the dogs in the neighborhood and the honesty with which their owners talked about them. But best of all was the ending. Read it and see if you agree.
Hi, I didn't realize you were there. I was just about to read the best book ever. It's called Ivy and Bean. Bean is this one right here, and she is very messy, not so neat. Bean thinks that Ivy, which is this one right here, is going to be very neat. But when they meet unexpectedly and become best friends, they realize they're a perfect pair together. They go on adventures. Well, not adventures, but they do brave and very interesting things. Like sneak in their neighbor's backyard. This is the first book in the series. There's a lot more books in the series. And I don't know if I have all of them, but I'm pretty sure I've read them all. That's because of how good they are. I mean, it's like the moment they saw each other, Bean and Ivy knew they would never be friends. But when Bean plays a trick on her sister, they meet and become best friends. That's why I just want to read it. So I'm going to end it right now. Time to read it.
Luli in the Language of Tea by Andrea Wang. Luli enters her classroom and sees all the children are playing alone. None of the children, including Luli, could speak English. But then Luli has an idea. The next day, Luli brings in a thermos with hot water, a teapot, some cups, and a canister of loose tea. She prepares the tea and announces cha, Chinese for tea. The other children recognize the aroma of tea and call out the word in their native languages. Sharing a cup of tea is the bonding experience that brings the children closer together. Maybe you could share a cup of tea with a new friend.
I'm Bailey, and I wanted to introduce you to the tale of Moldilocks and the Three Scares, a zombie tale. I'm sure most of you have heard of Goldilocks and the Three Bears. Well, this takes that classic story and adds a monster to it, which is my personal favorite. You find the picture, Papa Scare, who's a Frankenstein monster, Mama Scare, who's a mummy, and Baby Scare, who is a vampire. And one night, Papa Scare is making his famous finger sandwiches in alphabet soup. Doesn't that sound delicious? And it's just too hot for the family to eat. So they decide to go for a walk so that the food can cool off. And along comes Moldilocks. She smells the scent of the soup and all the food, and she wants to come and check out the house. So she finds her way into the Scare family's home. And if you've read the story of Goldilocks and Three Bears, you can kind of guess what happens next. But what will happen when the monsters actually return to the home? Because remember, we're not dealing with just bears, we're dealing with scary monsters. You'll have to read to find out.
Hi everyone, it's Miss Sarah from the Lucy Robbins Library, and I'm here to tell you guys about a great graphic novel series for early readers. So get ready to blast off on a graphic novel venture with ready-to-read graphics and I-can-read comics. Both of these series are perfect for fans who are interested in reading graphic novels. So can you guys tell me, What's the difference between a graphic novel and a regular book? Well, for a graphic novel, the story is told mainly through pictures, and they really encourage you to read the text as well as to focus on the image in order to get the full story. And for those of you who may have never read a graphic novel before, both the ready-to-read graphics and the I-can-read comics have this very helpful first page that kind of helps you see the difference between what might be a speech bubble and a thought cloud, as well as what order to read the panels in. So these books are great for readers at all levels. So we have books that come at level 1, level 2, and level 3. And with a wide variety of characters to choose from, you won't be able to put them down. So this is just a sampling of some of the stories we have. So you can see we have some characters like Geraldine Pooh, we have Nugget and Dog, Clark the Shark, as well as some original stories and ones that I don't even have on display here. But let me tell you about one of my favorite stories I read, which was Geraldine Pooh and Her Lunchbox 2 by Maggie P. Chang. So Geraldine's favorite part of the school day is lunch. It's a pretty good part of the day. She loves the special lunches her Amma packs for her. She packs her things like curry, dumplings, and sometimes even a silly dish, well, a dish with a silly name called Stinky Tofu. But when a boy at school starts to make fun of her for the way her lunches smell, Geraldine has to learn to stand up for herself and the things she loves. So this is just one example of these awesome graphic novel readers. So give these a shot. Try a different story, try maybe more than one, and tell me if you enjoyed them. I hope you do. Bye!
It's always fun to read scary books, but what about creepy things in real life? Did you know the ocean is home to some of the most mysterious creatures in the world? In The Strangest Thing in the Sea, you will learn about actual living creatures that live deep down in the ocean, part of the ocean that most humans can't visit. And remember, this book is nonfiction, so that means all the facts and animals shared in it are real. For example, look at that, right? Doesn't that look just like a witch? It says, I am long, soft, and ghostly. My nose is pointed like a witch's, and my teeth are downright spooky. Am I the strangest thing in the sea? What do you guys think it might be? A goblin shark. You'll have fun discovering all the different animals, but be prepared to maybe be a little bit grossed out as well. I'm Miss Bailey, and I hope you like this book.
Hi, today I'm going to talk to you about some books about whales. I love learning about whales. I hope you will too. First one, Eye of the Whale, a rescue story. This is about a whale that got stuck in San Francisco Bay and people came to rescue her. This one is A Pod of Whales, where you can learn about families of whales. This one is about humpbacks. And then we also have Baby Whale's Journey. So this is a story about sperm whales. So I have a book here, brand new book, about a different kind of whale. This is called The Whale Who Swam Through Time, a 200-year journey in the Arctic. It's by Boersma and Nick Pyenson. So bowhead whales are the longest living whales in the world, longest living mammals in the world. They live their entire lives in the Arctic, and our story starts 200 years ago with the birth of a bowhead whale calf. I'm just going to skip along here, and then we're going to move ahead. She's all grown up. She has calves of her own now, and she's about 50 years old, but times have changed. She has to watch out for whaling ships. These are hunters who will kill the bowhead whales for their blubber to melt down into oil, which they use to light their lamps. This is before electricity. The whale and her calf will dive deep to escape the hunters. Okay? And then we're going to fast forward about another 50 years. Oh my goodness, look how loud the ocean is. So there are ships, there are submarines, there are oil rigs, everything is making noise for these poor, poor whales. And then we're going to fast forward a little bit more, well, about another 50 years, 75 years, and look what happened to the ocean. It's getting warmer. The whale is losing all the ice in the ocean. There are more boats, more fishing lines. It's getting harder for her to navigate, harder for her to hear. She misses when the ocean was calm. And those just a few selections from this book. And then at the end, there's the author's note, and you can learn about where these mammals live, what is currently threatening them, more details at the back of the book. And you can come check out the library for any of these books or any other books on whales. Thank you.